And al-ilm, knowledge, is, and then Shaykh al-Fawzan mentions a definition of knowledge, ilm, which we need to know. He said, knowledge, al-ilm, is إدراك الشيء على ما هو عليه في الواقع أو تصور الشيء على طبق الواقع. That al-ilm, knowledge, means to comprehend something as it actually is, or to perceive something in accordance with how it actually is. That is what knowledge is. That's what we've been commanded to have here. Have knowledge, meaning have that, of the affair which will follow. Then the Shaykh said, explaining this, to comprehend something in a manner, or he gives the opposite here, to comprehend something in a manner which is contrary to how it actually is in reality, or to perceive something contrary to the reality of it. This is al-jahl. This is ignorance. And it is the opposite of ilm, of knowledge. So here he's giving you both. He's giving you what is knowledge, to comprehend something as it actually is, or to perceive something how it in accordance with how it actually is. And then he mentions the opposite of it. To comprehend something in a manner contrary to how it actually is in reality. I mean, to misunderstand something. Or to perceive something contrary to the reality. This is al-jahl, this is ignorance. And that is the opposite of knowledge. So we need to know these two things. Ilm, and the opposite of it is jahl, ignorance. He said, to repeat the first part, and because knowledge cannot be acquired. I mean, it won't just fall into your heart. It won't just appear. One day you wake up and it's there, appeared in your heart. It comes about through a certain process you have to go through, which is at-ta'allum, learning. So the Shaykh said, and because knowledge cannot be acquired except through learning. And then he mentions, then learning requires something. How do you go about learning? You just sit down and learning happens? No. The Shaykh said, and learning requires inaya. This word, either care and attention, or it could be translated as diligence. Inaya, giving care and attention. And juhud, the second one, effort. And waqt, and time. And it requires fahm, understanding. And it requires hudur qalb, literally attentiveness of the heart. This could be very roughly translated as concentration. But literally it's attentiveness of the heart, that your mind is not somewhere else, your heart is not somewhere else. It's on the task that you're trying to learn. So just repeat that because of the importance. The Shaykh said, knowledge, ilm, will not come about except through ta'allum, except through learning. And learning requires, then he mentioned these 5 matters which learning requires. I mean, all of them are essential. You can't just have one thing. Well, I put my time in there and I didn't get the result, but you didn't put the effort in. Or I put the effort in, but you didn't put enough time in, etc. So he mentioned 5 things that are essential. Inaya, care and attention. Juhud, effort. Waqt, time. Faham, understanding. And hudur qalb, attentiveness of the heart, or concentration. The Shaykh said, this is ta'allum, this is learning. Shaykh al-Fawzan commented upon this by saying, his saying bil adillah, with the proofs. He said, la bit taqleed, not due to taqleed, blind following, but rather with the proofs from the Quran and from the Sunnah. This is ilm, this is knowledge. Then he gives a very famous, or a few famous lines of poetry. He said Ibn al-Qayyim, defining knowledge, what is true knowledge. He said, Ibn al-Qayyim said in Al-Kafiyatu Shafiyah, the famous poem, Al-ilmu qala Allahu qala Rasuluh qala as-sahabatu hum ulul irfani ما العلم نسبك للخلاف سفاهة بين الرسول وبين رأي فلان. And you'll find some different wordings of this in different places. but this is one of the basic wordings. Al-ilmu qala Allahu qala Rasuluh. Knowledge is, Allah said, His Prophet said. Qala as-sahabatu hum ulul irfani. The companions said, they are the possessors of knowledge and awareness. Mal ilmu nasbuka lil khilafi safahatan. Knowledge is not that you foolishly raise up a disagreement بين الرسول وبين رأي فلان, between the messenger and the opinion of so and so. And this is something that we are in extreme need of, the like of this, because sometimes we forget, or many of us forget, what is ilm, what is knowledge. Knowledge is not fulan said or fulan said. This is what is knowledge. That knowledge is that which Allah said, that which His messenger said, the companions said. That is what is ilm. And knowledge is not what is commonly found amongst us these days, that when someone is faced with knowledge, they say, but Shaykh so-and-so says something different. Authentic hadith is quoted, and they say, but Shaykh so-and-so says something different. So we need to be aware of the like of this matter here, that knowledge is, Allah said, His Prophet, His Messenger said, the companions said. They were the possessors of knowledge and awareness. Knowledge is not that you foolishly raise up a disagreement between the messenger and the opinion of so-and-so. Then Shaykh al-Fawzan continued, this is what is ilm, what is knowledge. Knowledge is the knowledge contained in the kitab, in the book, and in the sunnah. As for the sayings of the ulama, this is a matter where many people get a wrong understanding or a wrong practice. Shaykh Fawzan said, as for the sayings of the ulama, the scholars, then they only explain and clarify the speech of Allah and the speech of His Messenger, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And they may contain, or some of them may contain, a mistake. And the adillah, the proofs, are not the speech of the ulama. Al-adillatu laysat kalam al-ulama. The proofs, if someone asks you for a dalil, then it's no use quoting the saying of a scholar. As the Shaykh said, proofs are not the speech of the ulama. Rather, the adillah, the proofs, are the ayahs of the Quran and the prophetic ahadith. As for the speech of the ulama, the scholars, then it explains and clarifies that, except it is not a proof in itself. This is the first matter. This is the first mas'ala, the first question.